Ever feel like your company's stuck in the mud when it comes to tech? Like, data's all over the place. Developing anything new takes forever. It's a drag. But there's this thing, a cloud center of excellence, a CCOE. It might be the answer. We're diving deep into how to build one, and I have some seriously smart advice, not just about the tech either, but about the people. So first, what even is a CCOE? It's not just a room full of tech geniuses, it's more like a dedicated team. And they're there to help your whole company get on board with cloud tech. They're like coaches, cheerleaders, translators, all in one, helping tech actually serve your business goals, you know? And get this, let's talk about these key principles, like mindset stuff. First one, start small, dream big. It's like building a house, right? You start with the foundation, then build up room by room. Small steps lead to a total makeover in the end. Second principle, change is the new normal. Get used to it. Tech's always changing, so you got to be quick on your feet. A CCOE has to be flexible, like a speedboat on a twisty river, adapting to the cloud's crazy landscape. Last one. This is interesting. Think like a product company. What's that mean here? Well, picture this. Your marketing team. They're your customer. Now they need to analyze all this campaign data. Fast and easy. The CCOE, they're thinking product. So they focus on what marketing needs, then give them cloud solutions that actually make life easier. It's a whole different way of thinking, not just IT department, but how can we help you succeed? Okay, principles down. Now let's get into the structure of the CCOE thing. Let's talk about two main groups, the Cloud Business Office, CBO for short, and then Cloud Engineering. CBO, they're like the strategic brains, focused on people and strategy. They deal with all that change management, figure out everyone's needs, set the rules, and make sure you're getting the most out of your cloud budget. On the flip side, Cloud Engineering, they're the muscle, the technical side. They build the infrastructure, automate stuff, make sure everything's secure, and handle moving those applications to the cloud, keeping the tech running smooth. Now, even though we get these two separate groups, a CCOE is all about teamwork. The CCOE, they're a service provider, not some gatekeeper. They're there to partner up with different departments, understand their problems, and help them use the cloud the right way. Trust and good communication, that's key from the start. To make that teamwork even stronger, we can start by putting CCOE members right inside different business units. It's like having a cloud expert on call right there in your department, knowing your daily struggles. It makes cloud adoption way more proactive, everyone working together. But how do you know if your CCOE is actually doing a good job? Here are some interesting ideas on that. The real test is how well the CCOE helps other teams become independent with the cloud. It's all about giving those departments the power to manage their own cloud stuff, make smart decisions, and come up with new ideas in their own areas. This whole empowerment thing, not control, that really stuck with me. It's not about the CCOE hoarding all the knowledge and power. It's about spreading cloud know-how throughout the whole company. Pretty powerful stuff, right? Okay, let's get practical. What are the actual steps to build this CCOE? Let's look at some really handy resources and frameworks. First off, the Cloud Service Provider's Cloud Adoption Framework. Think of it as your cloud travel guide, covering everything from setting your business goals to figuring out if you're even ready for the cloud, like having a roadmap for this whole cloud adoption journey. Then there's these tech intensity workshops, or immersion day workshops as they are called. They're like crash courses on specific cloud tech, led by cloud experts. You really dive into stuff like database migration, AI, even edge computing. They got presentations, hands-on labs, discussions, a great way to get your team up to speed, give them the skills to hit the ground running. Of course, theory is one thing, but doing it is where the real learning happens. That's where pilot projects come in. The cool thing about these is you get to try out the cloud in a safe space. Pick a business problem you can solve with a cloud solution. Keep it small, manageable, set clear goals, stay in your comfort zone for now. The idea is to get some experience, show everyone the value of the cloud, and build confidence. Once you've got some wins under your belt, you can start scaling up, tackling bigger projects. But before you go all in, it is recommended to do a migration readiness assessment, an MRA. This basically helps you see where you are in your cloud journey, what you're good at, and what needs work. It looks at your current setup, like your infrastructure, applications, even your processes and skills, to find any roadblocks or areas you need to beef up. The MRA basically gives you a clear plan to fix those gaps so you can move to the cloud more smoothly. So we've covered some of the tech stuff, the frameworks and all, but what about the people? The human side of this cloud transformation, that's where leadership really matters. Some key insights for leaders: stuff that can make or break your cloud journey, and you know what it all comes down to: aligning people and tech. First things first, make sure the folks in charge of business outcomes are also the ones responsible for delivering the technology. That way, everyone's rowing in the same direction, making sure the cloud actually helps the business. Like, you got to make sure the captain of the ship is the one steering it, right? Makes sense. Another big thing is modernizing your processes. Don't try to cram old ways of working onto new tech. The cloud gives you this chance to rethink how you do things, streamline stuff, get more agile and efficient. Take advantage of that opportunity and really optimize your operations. Embrace a modern approach. It's like, why get a brand new sports car and then try to drive it like an old clunky truck? It just doesn't work. And this might be the most important if it works. Get everyone on board with the cloud journey. Talk to people across the organization, listen to their concerns, and turn those potential roadblocks into cloud champions. Make sure everyone understands the benefits and feels like they're part of the change. This is where good communication and change management are super important. Now, remember how we talked about the CCOE structure with the Cloud Business Office, the CBO, and cloud engineering. The CBO, they're like the strategic brains, handling the business side of cloud adoption. They take care of organizational change management, stakeholder needs, governance frameworks, cost optimization. They're the ones making sure the cloud actually fits with your business goals and that everyone's on board. Cloud engineering, on the other hand, it's all about the technical stuff, building the infrastructure, setting up the tools and processes to make things run smoothly. Security, migrating those applications to the cloud. They're like the architects and builders of your cloud environment, making sure everything is solid, efficient, and meets your needs. Here's a key point I would like to emphasize: the CCOE. They're not supposed to be gatekeepers. Instead, they should be like a service provider to other teams, encouraging collaboration and partnership. Remember to think like a product company principle. Well, the CCOE is there to serve their internal customers. They should be working hand in hand with different departments, understanding their challenges, and helping them use the cloud the right way. Building trust and open communication, that's crucial for a successful CCOE. And remember how we talked about putting CCOE members right in different business units? That's another way to boost collaboration and make sure everyone's on the same page. By being closer to the customer, they can really get to know their daily needs and what they're struggling with. It's like having a cloud expert right there in the trenches with you, helping you navigate the challenges and get the most out of the cloud. Okay, so we've talked about the structure, the roles, the collaboration, but how do we actually measure if a CCOE is successful? I really stress on choosing the right metrics. It's not just about checking off technical achievements, it's about measuring how the CCOE impacts the whole organization. And here's an interesting idea. Focus on enablement. Instead of just tracking how much tech the CCOE builds, look at how many other teams can now handle the cloud on their own because of the CCOE support. It's shifting the focus from what they produce to the actual impact, encouraging the CCOE to be a true enabler of cloud adoption across the company. So we've gone deep into the practical steps for building a CCOE, explored those key roles and responsibilities within the team. But as we move on, let's not forget, cloud adoption isn't just about tech. It's about people, processes, and culture. Building a culture of change and innovation that's essential for getting the most out of the cloud. Let's shift gears now and talk about the cultural side of cloud transformation, and maybe look at some examples of companies who've done it successfully. Okay? So we've covered a lot of ground, the structure, the steps, all the metrics, but how do you actually build a CCOE that really changes your whole company? It's got to go deeper than just the tech, right? It's about making the cloud part of how everyone works, a cultural shift. And honestly, that can be the toughest part. This really hammers home this idea of treating the cloud like a product. And any good product, it has to actually solve problems for its customers. In this case, those customers are your own teams inside the company. So how do you get everyone on board? How do you turn those folks who are hesitant to cloud champions? Well, that's where those things to remember. They're like little golden nuggets of advice. First one, the CCOE is there to help other teams, not be a gatekeeper. Think about it. So you're launching some new tool internally. Would you rather have a team telling you exactly how to use it, or a team that works with you, understands your workflow, helps you adapt it to your needs? That's what the CCOE should be. Enablers, not enforcers. Next up, think about embedding some or all of the CCOE close to your customers, your lines of business, This is about getting out of the IT bubble and into the real action. Having CCOE members right there in different teams. It makes feedback faster, breaks down those walls between departments, and helps tailor cloud solutions. What each team actually needs. Remember those great quotes from that leaders onto cloud transformation. They really highlight how important it is to put people first. One that really hit me was figure out those key business and tech goals. Then make the people who are accountable for those outcomes also responsible for delivering the tech. So basically, connect responsibility with authority. If you're going to be held accountable for the results, you've got to have a say in the tools you use to get there. Another one that stuck with me, don't just build new tech to fit an old process that was designed for a totally different world. Modernize, optimize, and create new processes that actually get the most value from the tech. It's about embracing what the cloud can do, not trying to force it into old ways of doing things. Cloud adoption, it's a chance to improve your processes, not just a tech upgrade. And lastly, a call to action. For all the leaders out there, get the whole organization involved and turn those potential roadblocks into advocates. This is where communication and change management skills really come in. You got to address concerns, show the benefits, and prove that the cloud can help everyone do their best work. Those tech intensity or immersion day workshops we talked about, they're not all about tech training. They deal with the cultural side too. By showing teams what the cloud can really do, these workshops can get people excited and help them overcome that fear of change. And when it comes to measuring how well your CCOE is doing, there are some really smart suggestions. Focus on enablement. Don't just track how much tech the CCOE builds. Track how many other teams can now handle the cloud themselves because of the CCO support. It's about the impact, not just the output. It pushes the CCOE to be a real driver of cloud adoption across the whole company. So as you're starting your own cloud journey, think about this. What's the one area in your company that could really use the cloud? And how can a CCOE built on all these principles we've talked about help you get there? Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep transforming.